We are pretty much ready to start, and we are continuing last week's shir on the halachas of trapping and killing on Shabbos. And אנחנו עושים חזרה. בעיקר ממה שכתבתי, יש פה... Sorry? I sent them today for Kshira, for Shin Yud Zayin, because I hope to finish... I hope to.
Can you send me the PDF? Like a word?
All right. Who remembers where we were up to? We did not finish Seder, no. Okay, so I don't remember exactly where we're up to, so we're just going to start from number 13, freeing trapped animals. There is no Isser to free trapped animals. That takes care of that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Shechita. Shechita is one of the 39 malachas on Shabbos. For your information, just for your Talmudic information, there is an opinion in the Gemara that says that Shechita is not actually a malacha, and that rather the entire malacha of Shechita is that when you shecht, you are dyeing the animal's neck red, because you're letting the blood out onto the neck and you're making it look red, and you're so happy because the butcher is happy when his meat looks red. And according to that opinion,
Who's happy?
the butcher.
Happy because it's red?
Yeah, it's red. What? The meat should look red. What do you want? A brown meat? What do you want? You go to the supermarket, you see red meat, you're happy. I met a lot.
Oh, when you see red meat, not blood in the color of the hair.
Talking about on the meat, on the animal.
On that cut.
On the cut of
The
the
blood
neck.
is coming out. It doesn't see anything. You know?
No, on the neck, on the meat of the neck.
Okay.
The meat of the neck. He's happy with that.
Oh, he's happy. Okay.
The kitzur, anyway, according to that opinion, we count a different malacha in the 39. I don't remember which one it is.
There's no getting out of that, meaning there's no absolute malacha. Dye with blood a neck, a hair of an animal.
Not the hair, the neck, the meat. It's secretion of nichole. Happy. That's the whole point. The Gemara says you're happy with it.
So,
No, it's not a separate malacha according to Rav. According to Rav, it's not shoychim l'shema machayim, Rabba mishum tzeveya, which means it's not a separate malacha. Tzeveya, that's all. He counts a different malacha. I don't remember what it is, but
As other.
has another one instead of that.
so how come they tear it for the chole?
We paskin that shoychet is a separate av malacha. But in any case, it's certainly a Isser Daraisa. They're matter for a choyle because it's a sakanas nefashos. Matter any malacha for a choyle. Because it's his it's not his main intention, but he's happy with it. He's happy with it. Not the skin. I'm talking about the meat of the neck. The meat of the neck, where he cuts it. The actual meat of the inside of the neck. He's going to sell that. Okay, but maybe some of it stays, the redness, not the blood, the redness. You can ask a question on Rav. That's what Rav says. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm just sharing that information with you for your general Torah knowledge.
Okay.
In any case, we paskin that shchita is a separate malacha, and if a person kills without drawing any blood, it's only an Isidar Abana. Sorry, it's only a tulda. It's still a Isidar Raisa, but it's a tulda. For example, if he drowns an animal, you know what I'm saying? Or any other way of killing and poisoning it, whatever. In a way, I mean, poison maybe is grandma, whatever. If he kills it,
They're going to choke an animal. They're going to be like from God, but it's going to be from the license.
it's going to be a tulda. Raisa, but it's a tulda. I didn't mean Darabana, I meant tulda. It's a tulda. So, it's a deraisa, but it's a tulda. On the other hand, if a person draws blood, even without killing the animal, that's also deraisa.
What missing?
This woman is my ticket to Gan Eden, I'm telling you. Every time she goes to the mikveh, I get like 20 texts. Minimum.
Baruch Hashem, Rabbi.
Baruch Hashem. Okay. So, the point is that if a
Not in every day if I kill the license, it's not going to be the Ramadan. The one that
the one that
Themselves?
Drown?
we're going to discuss that soon. We're going to discuss that soon. Some say it's mutter completely.
Huh?
The pashtus is completely mutter. No. In some cases, it's also Rabbanan. Some cases. Most cases, it's mutter gomer. We'll discuss in a moment. So the point is that so there are two ways to draw blood. First of all, there's one way to draw blood, to actually draw blood outside of the animal. Like if it actually, comes out, or a person for that matter.
Neck, yeah, for the Jews to do that long time ago.
Yeah,
Neck.
they used to draw blood. Yeah.
Yes.
Nowadays too, they draw blood.
Yes.
If you want to, donate blood, if you want to get a blood test, draw blood. You want the blood.
Also, some therapy, they take the blood from the finger from somewhere at home, and they said it's very healthy. But I don't know.
Lo shamati. There's all kinds of therapy, but lo shamati could be. It's called a phlebotomy, by the way. Phlebotomy is to draw blood, to take blood, like they used to do. Akaza is called a phlebotomy. Is it a good thing to do? I mean, they say it's generally healthy to do it once in a while. It's generally healthy. Now, in those days, it was like considered like the main way of refuah. It was a huge thing. But nowadays, yeah.
If you donate
Bad blood.
it's
They
the best.
believed that
Rabbi.
if you took out the bad blood, the person would get big. I don't know how they decided. I don't know how they decided what was good, what was bad. But
Donate blood is very
that was one of the
healthy.
big things in those days. See it in the Gemara, discussed in so many places.
Right.
Donate blood is very healthy.
It is healthy. Yeah.
No, but it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out.
It stays in the body.
No, it doesn't
Do I
come
donate
out.
blood?
Just-
I've done it. I mean, not recently, but I have done it in the past. I don't know.
עושה תרומה,
Not for
כן,
health.
כן.
I do it because I,
ואחרי זה הוא עושה לך, הוא מוציא את המנהל.
contribute to society
Yeah.
once in a while when I feel like I want to be a good citizen.
Okay.
But
So regular tank or?
yeah, regular guy should think. If I'm in New York, I'll do it to the Jews, but the Jews don't really save it. It doesn't go to the Jews because the Jews donate to the general thing, they are able to get favors in return. It's not like your blood is going to Jews. They don't have a separate Jewish blood bank.
You can direct it.
If you have a special person. You have a specific person, yeah. Anyway, but last time I lost my chesed because I gave them like red blood cells, which took me like 45 minutes, a crazy time. And then when I went online to see, just to see my blood pressure, whatever, like there was no results. I called them and it took me forever to get through to them. Whatever they said, oh, there was something wrong with your test. We had to throw out your blood. It's like, forget it. All that effort, I'm done. Anyway, the Maisa, Lamaisa, if you draw somebody's blood, if you hit somebody and draw their blood, it's not considered a kilkel, it's considered a tikkun, by the way. Why? No. Your enemy. If you beat him up and you draw his blood, why? Yeah. Hopefully we don't have any enemies. No. Because your anger calms down. When you see his blood, now I feel better. So that's considered a tikkun for your anger. Even though it's an avera, but at least for your anger, it's a tikkun. Anyway, the Achronim discuss when you give a, what is it called? A shot into a vein. So before that shot actually goes in, when the needle pricks the vein, a little bit of blood comes out. So is that considered an Isser D'Oraisa or not? On the one hand, the technician wants the blood to come out because then they know that they got the vein and it's not going into who knows what, no man's land. On the other hand, they don't really need the blood per se. They're not doing anything with the blood.
I thought it's a chole, you're allowed to do anything.
If it's a yesh bo sakana, you're allowed to do anything.
Why are you giving him shots in Shabbat?
Chole, אבל אין לו סכנה. חולה, יש לו חולי, אבל בלי סכנה. כן? אז מותר להגיד שזה מצב שמותר לעשות מלאכה דרבנן. יש כל מיני מצבים, נאמר את זה. Is that an Isser D'Oraisa or a D'Rabbanan? So Reb Shlomo Zalman says that it's an Isser D'Rabbanan. Because even though the blood is helpful, but you don't need the blood itself. The blood is helpful for a side reason. On the other hand, if you give the blood into a muscle, the shot into a muscle. What are they called?
Is that you make mistake?
No. There are some shots that can go into muscles. What are they called?
Tetanus.
No. Maybe, but I'm talking about the general.
Intramuscular.
Intramuscular, thank you very much.
Like tetanus.
Tetanus? Is that what it is? Okay. So intramuscular shots, those are for sure D'Rabbanan. Because you don't have to draw any blood. And if you do draw blood, it's not your intention. So that's for sure D'Rabbanan. Okay, so what if the person does not draw any blood, but he creates a black and blue mark? What is that? A bruise. Thank you very much.
Blood seeping up.
The blood seeping out, but it's internal bleeding. Asur or D'Oraisa? D'Oraisa or D'Rabbanan? D'Oraisa, that's correct. Oh, we're going to learn about that in a
If
minute.
somebody fell down.
For a person and a large animal, as well as for the Shemona Shratzim, it's the Oraisa, because that blood never goes back in. It doesn't go back into the blood system. The body will take it out as waste, but it's never going to go back in. Sorry?
If somebody fell down and you got bruised,
It's a mistake.
Accident.
accident.
So, point is, if it's an animal that does not have a skin, like an insect, there's no such thing as a black and blue mark with these insects. Why? Because it doesn't have skin. It has like an exoskeleton. It has, like the insects, they have a skeleton on the outside. So if it bleeds, the blood comes out. And if the blood doesn't come out, that means that the blood is going back into the system. Because there's no skin to block it from coming out. It's either out or in. There's no in between.
It's different than human.
Different than human, different than large animals. Okay. A fish out of water, my friends. If you take a fish out of water and you make it dry until the gills, exactly, until the gills are either dry or if it becomes like gooey under the gills. So that's already considered that it's dead. It's never going to recover. So that's a malacha d'oraisa.
Also, if you take it out from the water already, you did sin.
Absolutely. As soon as you take it out of the water, you did the malacha of tzeda.
I'd say that.
Now, if you put it back in right away, at least you also didn't do the malacha of shchita. You understand?
Okay. You tzad, but lo shchita.
Exactly. Now, if you take it out of a bucket, so it was already caught, so you didn't do anything unless you leave it out too long that it dies. So if you take it out of the bucket and put it back into the bucket, all you did was muktzah, basically. Okay.
But what about if you took it out of the bucket and then you shechted it? I mean, would that be okay? Because it's...
Shechted as you killed it, like whacked it over the head?
Yeah, or cut the head off and just, you
Well,
eat it raw.
Well, yeah, then you've killed it.
Yeah.
And you've killed it. So
Yeah, I just thought that maybe fish had a different classification of being, because it's like, they're, I guess, created from the water, something like that. I was looking at it from the more Kabbalistic point of view.
and therefore what?
That is it.
Well, I don't know. I guess I was just kind of going off something I think I learned in the Rambam about all this sort of stuff the past few days.
Well, the Rambam says that when you gather the fish in, it's the same as shechting it. You don't have to do a separate act of shechting.
Uh-huh.
When you take it in, when you take it out of the water, it's halachically considered shechted.
Okay, yeah, okay. I guess I was thinking the fact that when you kill it, it doesn't need any special form of shechita because it's from the water. It's not like the birds or cows.
Correct. You don't have to do any form of shechita, but it is killing.
Yeah.
Not shechita per se, but it is killing.
Okay.
But by causing a bruise,
Well, it depends. It depends if you're beating up your enemy. Oh, so when it comes to animals, I honestly don't know what benefit there would be from a black and blue mark. There could be a benefit, by the way, from drawing blood of the animal. First of all, if your animal is sick and you want it to become healthy, in those days you used to draw blood. That's tzarech l'gufa. You want the blood to come out. Another point, the Alter Rebbe says, if you want to feed the blood to your dog, With the bruise on the animal, I find it hard to imagine why you would want it. But for a human being, if he's your enemy, it makes you happy to know that you bruised him up.
But yeah, but what about the other animals?
Animals, a bruise, it's hard to imagine. There's a tzarech lagufa. I can't think of it. No, if it's ein tzarech lagufa, it's a machlokes rishonim. The Rambam says you chayav melachas shein tzarech lagufa. Other rishonim say you're potter.
Some people like to halel b'chayot, so you make a bruise. So you know, the Arab, they throw the donkey from the tzuk. Yeah, from the mountain.
Why?
That's what they like to do.
No.
Yeah, yes.
What do you mean? The donkeys, that's what they used to walk around with.
Well,
why would they waste it? It's
they
with money.
Starving them, and they do weird stuff.
All right. But Melacha shein tzarech lagufa, by the way, now that we mentioned it, it's important to know that a Melacha shein tzarech lagufa is a machlokes rishonim, like I just said. According to the Rambam, it's deraisa. According to the other rishonim, it is derabanan. In the Gemara, it's a machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Sorry, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon. But Shmuel paskins like Rav Shimon concerning davar she'eino miskaven, and like Rav Yehuda concerning melacha she'ein tzarech lagufa. That's where the Rambam gets his psak from. So the Rambam is lenient on davar she'eino miskaven. It means if you do something unintentionally, if it's not a psik reisha, if it's not a definite consequence, he's lenient, and everybody agrees with that. When it comes to melacha she'ein tzarech lagufa, he agrees with Shmuel, who passes like Rav Yehuda about that melacha she'ein tzarech lagufa is chayiv. And now we come to a question that we had trouble with last time. So let's see if we can figure it out this time. What's the difference between a davar she'eino miskaven with a psik reisha and a melacha she'ein tzarech lagufa? Think about it. Melacha she'ein tzarech. Explain to me the difference.
Melacha she'ein tzarech lagufa. You got something on a table, or not on a table because you want to eat Shabbat. You know, so somewhere like on table, something you have something on a table and you want to move it. You don't use that table, and that if you move that, it's
Oh, you're talking about the muktzah. I'm not talking about muktzah. I'm talking about if you do a malacha, but you don't need the object that you're doing the malacha with. You don't need the thing that you're doing the malacha with. You have no use for it.
Like Amer with the Fitzuchim?
No.
So
I'm talking about if you dig a hole. Why do you need the hole? Because you want to take the earth and use it to plant somewhere else. You don't need the hole. Now the hole is maybe a good hole because you could plant in it. But you don't need the hole. How is that different than a davar she'eino miskaven b'psik reisha? When you do something unintentional, but it's a definite result. I'm going to cut off the chicken's head.
If he dies,
If he dies, he dies. Now it's for sure going to die. So that's called a psik reisha. So that's chayiv. Melacha she'ein tzarech lagufa, it's pater. What's the difference?
So here you go. You dig a hole for the dirt, but you make a hole. And this one, you take the chicken head, you kill it. Oh, I mean, both of them chayav.
No. According to the Rambam, both of them is chayav. According to the other Rishonim, melacha she'ein tzarech lagufa is pater, and davar she'eino miskaven b'psik reisha is chayav.
So in the hole is pater.
According to most Rishonim, yes.
But for the dirt, he's chayav. He's taking the dirt to use it.
The dirt is no chiyuv. Picking up dirt is no chiyuv. Let me ask you the question a different way. Let me word the question a different way.
You know the answer, or you just trying to figure out the answer together?
I know the answer, but I'm developing it as I speak to you. So let me ask you the question a different way. When you take out that dirt and you are creating the hole, I don't need the hole. Why don't we say it's a psik ratio that you made the hole? Think about it. It's a psik ratio that you need the hole, that you made the hole. You're right. You don't need the hole. Fine. Okay. It's a psik ratio. Why don't you call that a davar she'einu miskaven at the same time that it's a malach shel gufa? Be chayev because it's a malach shel gufa.
Because when we go on Shabbat with the heel on the grass, crossing the grass, they make it hole. You don't meet covenants. You walk it.
That's not even a psik ratio. Tishma. When you're walking on the grass, it's not even a psik ratio because it may or may not uproot the grass. So that's mutter according to everybody. No problem. Maybe if it's tall grass, that's for sure going to break. That's a problem. But regular grass, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Mutter. But if it's something that's for sure going to happen, we call it a psik ratio, and it's not allowed. So why don't I say, when I do any melacha she'ein tzarich legufa, why don't I say it's a psik ratio that I'm going to be doing that melacha?
We don't are going too much machmir to make him already make this scene.
Okay, listen carefully. Listen carefully. When you do a psik ratio, so first of all, just in the translation of the words, I'm not answering the question I asked, but I'm just going to explain to you the difference in the simple meaning of the words. Davar she'einu miskafen is when you don't intend for the malacha at all. It's happening in a secondary way. For example, you're cutting off the chicken's head. It's not about the chicken dying. It has nothing to do with that. It's about I need a toy, whatever. The death of the chicken is completely secondary. When you do a malacha she'ein tzarich legufa, you intend to do the malacha, but you don't need the item that the malacha is with. I don't need the hole. I need the dirt. I'm intending to make this hole. I'm digging a hole. That's what I'm digging a hole. I'm not taking a toy for my baby. I'm digging a hole. You understand? But at the same time, I don't need the hole. I need the dirt. Or let's say you're putting out a fire. Another example, is you're putting out a fire, but you don't need the coal. What am I doing? I'm putting out the fire. I want to put out the fire. That's what I want to do. But it's not for the coal. It's so I should protect something else. You understand? It's just the translation of the word is different. Davar she'ein miskaven is when I don't mean to do it. When I open the fridge, I don't want to turn on the light. I want to open the fridge. It so happens that the light is going on. That's called davar she'einu miskaven. I don't intend to do that malacha at all. It happens to be happening on the side. Malacha she'ein tzarich legufa means I intend to do it, but I don't want it for the thing itself. I want it for something else. You understand? I want the result in a different way, but not for the item itself. You understand? I want the darkness in the room. I don't need the extinguished light bulb. I need the darkness in the room. So it's a separate thing. I want to turn it off, but I want something outside of the thing itself.
I would be more machmir about the person cut the head of the chicken.
We are more machmir. That's the right.
The kill.
That's the right.
Doesn't matter.
I'm explaining to you the difference between the terms. But now let's go back to why is a malacha she'ein tzarich legufa also a psik ratio? The answer is very simple. It's a psik ratio deloi nichale. Whenever you do a psik ratio, in order to be chayev, you have to have some benefit from the psik ratio. You have to have some benefit. So, for example, when you take the head off the chicken to give it to your baby to play, so it so happens that you're happy that it's dead. You didn't intend to kill it, But if it's dead, it's not going to bite your baby. It's not going to peck his eyes out or whatever. So you're not upset that it's dead. It's good for you. So even though it's not your intention, but it's nichale, you're happy when it happens. Same thing, you open the fridge. You don't want the light to be on, but now that it's on, I can see what's on the top of the back shelf. So that's called a psik reisha, parentheses, the nichale. However, malacha she'etzach legufa means when you have no benefit from the hole at all. You're you're digging the hole, and all you care about is the dirt. You have no benefit from the hole. That's basically a psik reisha nichale. You're left with a psik reisha nichale, and you are, what you're doing is a malacha. You're doing the malacha, right? You're doing the malacha, but because I don't need the guf of the malacha, and even though you're having the guf of the malacha, even though you're left with the guf of the malacha, you have no benefit from it at all. So therefore, it's considered a psik reisha nichale.
So
that's why you're.
So Rabbi, if you open the refrigerator and the dead light, basically if the light's on, you don't need the light.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's a psik reisha nichale. It's still asad rabbanan. Still asad rabbanan.
You don't know if it's
but maybe you're right. If you have no benefit from it, it's lo
also
nichale.
if you have a projector of light and the refrigerator, it's the same thing. So
yeah, correct. Okay, I just want to go back a little bit since we're talking about psik reisha and stuff like that. What if you are walking in a place that has a lot of crawling insects?
like lizards, stuff like that.
Like ants.
And stuff.
You're allowed to walk.
And you have no choice. And you walk by mistaken, or you walk on purpose, or what's happening?
You're walking in a place that there's a lot of insects. And if you step on
realize
them,
before or after?
if you step on them, you're going to kill them.
And this is the only way you can cross them.
So it's actually a shaila. It's actually a shaila because it's a psik reisha, and it's a problem. It's lo nichale, but it's still an issur d'Rabbanan. So if there is another way to walk, you should definitely walk another way.
Because it's animal. I care about that. You know?
Exactly. Whether you care or not, I mean, the Torah cares. But
so, is that the same problem? There's just walking through grass where you're going to not cut the grass when you walk?
the grass is presumably not a psik reisha. The grass is presumably not a psik reisha because you don't necessarily cut the grass with every step that you take. On the other hand, the poskim do say that if you have no other way to walk, then there is place to be lenient as long as you walk softly as you can. Maybe you won't kill it, maybe you will. Considering that we find other cases where you're allowed to walk in a way of a psik reisha. We have it in Siman Shin Chaf. You're allowed to walk even if your socks are soaking in the flood. Every time you step, the water is coming out of your socks. But it's a psik reisha. The lo nichale. It's kala'achar yad. And there's no other choice. What are you going to say? Just stand there for the rest of Shabbos? Is no. So the same thing here. It's psik reisha. The lo nichale. Kala'achar yad. Right? It's not a normal way to kill insects. I mean, it's a normal way to kill it while you're walking, but for a person who wants to kill insects, that's not his preferred method. And if there's no other choice, that's why yesh makam lahakam. If that's even better, to walk softly, so hopefully they will not necessarily die. Okay, now the main psak is like most Rishonim, as far as Malacha She'etzach L'Gufa is concerned. However, a Baal Nefesh is strict. That's what Alter Rebbe says. No, about all questions involving Malacha She'etzach L'Gufa. In other words, Lamaisa, it's Aser anyway. The question is it a Raisa or Rabbanan, right? And there's going to be some nafkaminas we're going to learn soon, some practical differences.
So basically,
Isser is there. The question is it deraisa or rabbanan? Actually, now that we're mentioning Malach Shein Tzarech L'Gufa, I should also mention that because a Malach Shein Tzarech L'Gufa is very close to a deraisa. What do I mean is very close to a deraisa? Because you're actually intending to do the malacha, just that you don't have a need for the gufa hadavar, you need it for something else. So it's very close to a malacha.
So basically, this is another one to
Oh, we're going to learn about that actually right now. We're going to learn about that right now. That's actually one of the nafkaminas between these opinions. But Lamaisa, we do find that Malach Shein Tzarech L'Gufa is more strict than other Isurim D'Rabbanan. Even if you say Malach Shein Tzarech L'Gufa is D'Rabbanan, we find that it's more strict than other Isurim D'Rabbanan. I'll give you a simple example. I believe there are many examples, but I can only think of one right now. Moment, please. Okay. The one example, which is one simon that we're not going to learn, is about a dleika b'Shabbos, a fire, dleika on Shabbos, a fire on Shabbos. A fire on Shabbos, Siman Shin Lamed, I think. Shin Lamed Dalet. We touched upon it. But if there's a fire on Shabbos, the Gemara says, you cannot tell a goy to chaba. If he does, you don't tell him to stop. And you can even be merames to him. You can say to him, Kol hamachaba eina mafsid. Whoever puts it out is not going to lose, which means he's going to gain. But it's like a hint. It's a permissible hint only because of the great loss. What's going on here? It's an Issa D'Rabbanan through a goy with a huge hefsid. I mean, person's whole possessions could go up in flames. What's the problem? It's a shvus to shvus.
Yeah, baby sitting in the fire.
No. Babies, you put out the fire right away.
That's it.
Any people. Or if it's close to any house that has other people, you know what I'm saying? Any doubt, you put it out. I'm talking about if there's no doubt, everybody's fine. It's a house in the middle of nowhere, no trees, nothing. Just a house, open space, and nobody's in it. But it's expensive. Can't put it out. You can't tell the guy to put it out. You have to give him a remez. So that's an example where we see that the Chachamim were more strict by Malach Shein Tzarech L'Gufa. You can't do a shvus to shvus with a Malach Shein Tzarech L'Gufa. See that from Dleika, because it's a more strict shvus. Okay. Why? Because it's much closer to the Daraisa. You understand? Shinoi, it's like you didn't do it in a normal way. It's all in your head. You're actually doing the malacha, and you're intending to do the malacha. Just in your head, you have a different kavana. You understand? So it's so close to the exactly. You don't need the hole; you need the dirt, but you're intending to make the hole. Coals, exactly. In the case of the fire, not to make the coal. Okay. Any Malach Shein Tzarech L'Gufa, you're intending for the act, but you don't need the gufa davar. You need another davar. So that's all in your head. That difference is all in your head. But the action of the malacha is exactly the same as the da'arais. So therefore, it's very close.
So if the guy come to you, he said, your house is fire and the field.
Yeah.
So
Mishi yichabel lo yafsid.
Mishi yichabel lo yafsid.
Okay, and now we speak a little bit about trapping. Yep.
So what we discussed, I don't know, so we're not allowed to kill people like this. Snake is called.
That depends on the opinion. Let's learn it right now. Yeah. Let's learn it right now. So when it comes to trapping a hurtful animal, you can do it let's talk about that hurtful animal. Any animal that is dangerous, that is a sakana, you can kill or trap regardless, whether according to the Rambam, according to the other Rishonim, because the sakana is nefashos. What if it's a hurtful animal that does not kill? It's a poisonous snake, but it's not a lethally poisonous snake.
How do you know?
Or this because you know, because
I don't know anything about
you went to the Boy Scouts. To the Boy Scouts, you learned.
Before I learn, I see snake.
If you didn't learn that, then you can kill it. Although the snake experts say better not to try to kill it, because it's much more likely to bite while you're trying to kill it than if you just stay away. But in theory, if you know that you can kill it without getting hurt. So, by the way, of the 1,000 species of scorpions, how many are lethal? I looked this up once. 20. Just for your information. That doesn't mean that if you're not an expert, you're not going to know. But I'm just saying, when it speaks about ones that are not lethal, there are many of them that are not. Anyway, so when it comes to trapping them, even according to the Rambam, there is a way to trap them that's no problem. Again, according to the other, let me explain. I have to go back. Why are you trapping the animal? Not because you need it. You have no use for it.
Medicine.
No. You just don't want it to bite you. That's a classic malacha she'etzach l'gufa.
You don't take the Eres for medicine?
No, I don't take the Eres for medicine. I'm not a scientist.
Okay.
I just don't want to get killed or get hurt even. Killed, you can do anything. I'm talking about hurt.
So how about tied in general, we said the last four?
Yeah.
So if I have in front of me and to kill mazik, it's I'm gonna be taught. Some people says that I can be taught.
Why?
Be allowed.
Why?
If I'm adventurous, I can bite me. It's a kind of passion.
Well, then you could then trapping is the same as killing. Sakanas and fashas, what's the difference?
So I mean, like, if you're about to so I think I can be better to try to trap him, not to kill him.
Oh, I'll tell you
Then
why.
after Shabbos, they're gonna release him.
I'll tell you why. No. After Shabbos, releasing him is not going to help. When you trap, that is the Isser. Whether you release him later doesn't make any difference. The point is, Alter Rebbe explains that when you trap, according to the Rambam, it's very simple to trap in a way that's kala'ach hayad, because all you have to do is trap it so it can't escape the enclosure. Instead of trapping it into a box, which is a normal way to trap, instead you just surround it so it can't escape. No, even with something on top of it, just nothing underneath it. So it's not actually contained in a way that you could take it home with you, but it's stuck there so it can't get away. So that's a way that is considered a shinui, which is allowed even according to the Rambam. Exactly. So that would be mutter even according to the Rambam. If you just prevent it from leaving without trapping it in a regular way, that's even mutter according to the Rambam. So that's better than killing it, which is a da'iraisa according to the Rambam. According to the Rambam, yeah. To kill?
Yeah, like something that can sakana fashion.
No, sakanas nefashos is mutter. Sakanas nefashos is mutter. Sakanas nefashos is mutter. Sakanas nefashos is mutter according to every opinion. No question, you're allowed to kill or trap an animal that is sakanas nefashos. Sorry?
There's no point to do the shimon.
If you can, you should do it with a shinui, for sure.
Let me ask you, let's say you have kill of shiddur running into your house.
What?
Yeah, for sure. Kelev shoyt is sakanat nefashos.
Huh?
A kelev shoyt is sakanat nefashos.
Like I'm sure, if it was the gun close fire on the.
Makes no difference. No difference.
Anybody come to your home and to rob or something, you can shoot them.
He's talking about a kelev shoyta, a mad dog, rabies, a dog with rabies.
Somebody come to your house at night.
Somebody else.
You don't know. You shoot them, right?
If you're in Florida, for sure.
You're allowed, right? I know you. It's better not to make him handicap because he will sue you, but to kill him it's better. I think so. That's what I want. It's better to kill him than make it an handicap. Shoot, kill.
In America, you never know.
Okay, so let's talk about an animal that is Suffolk dangerous. You don't know?
Safek?
Safek sakana.
Second for you. Like it's not running after you.
Oh, so here's the thing. If it's running after you, everybody agrees you're allowed to kill it. Safek sakana stefashos. If it's not running after you, then
You're in the house and you sit it in your backyard.
So then according to those that are makel on you can kill it also. Because a chacham makel, killing it is not a siderais. You don't need it. And it's a safek sakana. On the other hand, according to the Rambam,
But it's your backyard.
yeah, somebody might walk in the backyard and not realize. It's like you're saving somebody from a possible sakana.
Rabbi, you're right to call the police instead to shoot them?
I'm sorry? Yeah, I don't know exactly what the what the chances have to be, but if there's a chance that somebody could get killed, you don't have to wait.
You're allowed to call the police instead to shoot them?
The police?
Yes.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Shoot or police, either way, right?
Yeah.
But they're going to come shout from him. Just
So you shoot them, it's better?
What are we referring to? Something with injury?
If you shoot, it's also the same thing like you call.
Sorry.
Or refer to something like an injury, like a dog or
Oh, first I was talking about a Suffolk sakana. Suffolk sakana, like a snake. You don't know if it's dangerous or not. According to the Rambam, unless it's chasing you, because it's a deraisa, and it's only a Suffolk sakana, and it's not chasing you, so it's like a sfek sfeka, you're only supposed to kill it with a shinui. That means, for example, stepping on it while you're walking. Because that's not the normal way you would kill a dangerous animal. You would, do it directly. So that would be allowed.
Snake, you have to step on his head.
Yeah.
Taking a nice jump.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about jump, but walking, while you're walking. What if it is not a dangerous snake or scorpion for sure? You know exactly what it is. And it causes grievous bodily harm. Is that how you pronounce it, grievous? It causes grievous bodily harm. It doesn't kill. It makes the person sick, very sick, swollen, place, hospital, whatever, but it's not dangerous.
Well, you don't know it's not dangerous. Somebody might have an allergic reaction.
I don't have an answer for that one.
I'd say you can kill it.
I don't have an answer for that one. It's hard to answer that question because it is possible. Even bees, person who's never gets stung by a bee, it could be could be lethal, chas v'shalom. No, you don't know if he's allergic, exactly.
And there's
So something, chas v'shalom, person has to be careful.
what do you want to do to kill the beast?
So,
I know it sounds like if you know you're gonna supposed to get really sick, you said you're gonna for sure gonna recover. Every person is different.
that's kind of what Daniel is asking. How do you know that you're not going to get an infection from it or allergic or whatever? But we're talking about a thing that has been established that it's not lethal. What are you going to do? I mean, anything could be anything. You know what I'm saying? A cold could kill a person. I mean, a piece of metal that goes into a person's skin can cause an infection. But we have medicines for it, and sliver.
Staph infection.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we have medicine, and
Every time you sacrifice your own Shabbos, you be suffering the rest of Shabbos.
one second, one thing at a time. So if you hold like the other Rishonim that it's not an Issur D'Oraisa to kill if you don't need it, so then the Chachamim were Mekel and they allowed it. It's an Issur D'Rabbanan, and they allowed it for the sake of protecting you from grievous bodily harm. However, according to the Rambam, that it's an Issur D'Oraisa, it's not allowed. It would only be allowed for a Sakanas Nefashas. It's not a Sakanas Nefashas, it's not allowed. Nothing to do.
Actually, the Rambam is strict in all cases.
Sorry?
The Rambam is strict.
Not all the cases. If it's a Sakanas Nefashas, he's not strict. And if it's a suffix, even if it's not chasing, he lets you step on it, and he lets you catch it kalach yad. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't let you kill it if it's not a sakana. La maisa.
But don't you say here that in the notes that you could kill it with even with a shinoi, you couldn't kill it?
The Rambam,
In 18.
I don't believe the Rambam allows it with the shinoi.
He said under trapping and killing hurtful animals. I guess this was a hurtful animal, and so your note said even according to the Rambam with the shinoi.
With the shinoi is going on trapping. I don't believe it's mutter for killing. Let me just look that up. Give me a moment. In 25, I wrote, according to the Rambam, don't kill if it's not lethal. I don't believe there's a difference with the shinoi. Let me just look that up. Hold on.
Because you mentioned killing there also in 18.
Yeah. Let me look that up. I hear you. Let's look that up. Thank you.
So בדיוק ידעתי שמה זה סקורפיון שזה מסוכן זה נותר מאוד. יצאתי בעולם. איך שיצאתי, הוא דיבר.
הוא היה בהמשך, הוא לא פספס את השני.
Yeah, I got to take back 18 and stand with 25 in my notes. Take out the word killing in 18 if you have the notes in front of you.
Yeah, I got that.
Take out the word killing and leave in the word trapping. According to the Rambam, you are not allowed to kill a animal that does not present a sakonas tefashos, even a suffix.
Is that one?
No, that's tonight. I'm talking about last week's.
Let's
I'm
do
finishing last week's first. This is this week's. I'm sorry.
I have it.
So again, when it comes to trapping, you're allowed to trap with a shinui. Seems like a contradiction. Actually, now that I'm saying it, I don't know why there's a difference. When it comes to trapping, the Rambam says you're allowed to trap with a shinui. Even an animal that is not dangerous, even an animal that is just causes grievous harm. So you're allowed to.
What does that shinui look like?
The shinui looks like, instead of trapping it in a box, you simply surround it with something so it can't escape. Or you put a cup over it, but there's nothing underneath the cup, so you can't actually pick it up. Or you tie its feet and hands together. I'm saying if it's not going to work if it's a snake, but I'm saying if it's a mad dog, you tie its feet and hands together so it can't escape, but you didn't actually put it in any kind of container to take it anywhere.
Or push it 24. I mean, not physically.
I don't know if that's not Kedarka, I don't know.
You can take a towel and swinging the fly the different way.
I'm not talking about a fly. I'm talking about a dangerous, not dangerous, but
Not
an
dangerous
animal that could cause serious hurt. So when it comes to killing, the Rambam says you're not allowed to kill an animal that could cause serious hurt, even with a shinoi. Why? Why are we lenient with trapping and restrict with killing?
Because you don't take a life.
You're living with hunting.
The Rambam allows you to trap with a shinui to prevent bodily harm, but he doesn't let you kill with a shinui to prevent bodily harm. Why not? What's the difference? They both have malacha.
Because the trapping, you can reverse the
It doesn't help. Doesn't help. Once you've trapped, you've trapped. It's like cooking. Once you've cooked, you've cooked.
So repeat the question again, please.
I'm just wondering why according to the Rambam, you're allowed to trap with a shinui, and you're not allowed to kill with a shinui. The same situation, an animal that harms but doesn't kill.
Talking about instead to kill, to trap, so maybe thinking about he's caring about the animal.
maybe because
I don't think it's about the animal. Sorry? So maybe if you trap, you'll also use it for something. Same thing.
He said, what's the reason?
No, I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't see the reason here. Okay, let's leave that as a question. But I just also want to correct something I just see here. I made a mistake. When it comes to an animal that is a suffix sakana, that is not chasing you, so I said according to the Rambam, you have to step on it with a shinui. And according to the others, you can step on it directly, you can kill it directly. It's not correct. According to both, you must do it with the shinui because it's not chasing you and it's a suffix sakana. So it's like a sfex feka. You can only step on it with the shinui or otherwise kill it with the shinui, not directly. Okay, lemaisa, we're left with one difference between the Rambam and the other Rishonim in this whole discussion, and that is, can you kill an animal that will cause bodily harm or not? According to the other Rishonim, yes. According to the Rambam, no. Lemaisa, the Alter Rebbe says, on the one hand, a Baal Nefesh is supposed to be strict, like the Rambam. On the other hand, you're going to be strict at the expense of causing other people serious harm. You're going to let the animal go. It's going to cause them serious harm. So the Alter Rebbe says you should only be strict if you're able to warn the people not to, to stay away from this area. So then you have the right to be strict because you'll be strict and they'll be safe because you'll warn them. You'll stand there, you'll tell them not to come close, whatever. But if it's going to be a situation where you're going to put them at risk of serious bodily harm, then you should not be a bal nefesh at their expense.
And kill it.
And kill it. Exactly. I mean, better with a shinui. At least, it won't be a deraisa. Okay, now I want to go back a little bit to something Ronnie mentioned, and that is the question of animals that do not procreate. Shelo ba'im mizachar umkeva. In the Mishkan, the animals that they killed were a chilazon. They killed that snail or that fish or whatever it was for the purpose of getting the ink. And they killed the elim, right? They killed the rams to get their skin. Anything else? Tachash, yes, thank you, to get its skin. So those are all things that procreate. They come from male and female animals. On the other hand, there are animals that, according to Chazal, do not come from male and female. Rather, they come from other things, like lice, for example, come from sweat. Spontaneous generation, exactly. Spontaneous generation. Maggots, exactly. They come from the rotting meat or whatever.
Where do they come?
Bacteria that come together.
Bacteria creates an object.
I mean, this is according to the Torah. This is according to the Torah. This is something that science does not agree with at this point. This used to be scientific. Scientists used to believe in that because you couldn't see the eggs; they were so small. But now the scientists say that there are eggs, and you just don't see them, and they're passed on either by the wind or.
So really, maybe you're eating maggot eggs?
If it started to spoil, very possible, yeah.
How are you eating maggot eggs? Maybe
Sorry?
the maggot went there before and made eggs? Obviously, it was there before.
No. It could be just wafting through the air. Could be maggot eggs in the air.
Those things?
I don't know how it works. You have to ask the scientists. I really don't know. Anyway, this is one of the questions that the science, where the science contradicts the Torah. So let's. Oh, I actually came across a pshat, I think in the Dirshu, for this thing. Let me see if I wrote it down. Hold on one second. I wrote what does it mean. I wrote the question. But I wrote the answer down somewhere.
I was just looking on Google. It says that the maggots are larval forms of flies. They hatch from eggs that are laid by flies.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. They do not arise from bacteria or any other contamination in the meat.
Interesting. Okay, let me first finish with the Torah's perspective, and then we'll try to discuss this contradiction. So, first of all, according to the Torah, the things that do not come from a Zachar and a Nekeva, you're allowed to kill. There is no Issa D'Rabbanan. You're allowed to kill a louse. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Anything that does not come from a Zachar and a Nekeva.
Why would it be there alone? Would it fly alone?
Some mosquitoes? Some mosquitoes also, Rabbi?
No mosquitoes.
What
No
about
mosquitoes.
food flies? Will it be in some category?
I believe so. So if it's something that comes from the earth, which is a parosh, for example, a bed bug, that has a din as if it comes from a zachar and a nekeva, because everything comes from the earth. All the behemoths come from the earth. Even man comes from the earth. So that's a special din. That it's a chiyuv, even though it does not come from a zachar and a nekeva.
Come to the earth because of Adam Rishon?
I'm sorry?
Come to the earth because of Adam Rishon?
Exactly, because and all the chayas, all behemoths on the sixth day, all from
What's the other one?
when Hashem created them, it says Toitzei ha'aretz nefesh chaya. So He formed them out of the earth, just like He formed Adam out of the earth. What it says.
So how about those ones that come from the necklace that you're not studying?
Yeah.
Either from the Raisa or also from the Rabbanan?
Also in the Rabbanan. There's only one exception, and that is that when it comes to a person who is mefalek kelev, which means he's cleaning his clothes from lice, there it says you're not allowed to kill the lice because there might be bed bugs on your clothes. That's the way they lived, unfortunately. I feel bad for them. And if you would kill the lice, you may end up killing the bed bugs too. So then it says you shouldn't kill the lice. But on your hair, for example, where there are not usually bed bugs, just lice, bakasha, you can kill the lice. That's what it says. Now, coming back to the question. So, the Michtav Meliyahu says, this is Rabbi Dessler, since Chazal say that they don't come from a Zachar and a Keva, the din does not change, regardless of what the scientists say. He says, perhaps when they said that it does not come from a Zachar and a Keva, they meant it does not visibly come from a Zachar and a Keva, and they went with because it's not a visible connection, it's considered as if it's not from them. If you can't see the connection, it's halachically not a relevant connection. On the other hand, you have the Pachad Yitzchak, who said that nowadays we should be strict and we shouldn't kill them because Chazal went with the science of their day and the science has changed. So now that we know that Chazal, it's hard to say the word made a mistake, but that's what they would say. They had no choice. They had to go with the science of their day. But now that the science has changed, we have to change the halacha as well.
Who says that?
Pachad Yitzchak. I don't really know who he was, but he must have been somebody important.
That was Rabbi Yitzchak Hutner.
No. This is not Rabbi Yitzchak Hutner. This is somebody earlier. This is somebody called Lamprunti. Not much earlier, because this is after the science came out with it, but this is 19th century. I don't believe he's 20th century. Okay. Now, I found a different shot and I'm trying to find it. I guess I didn't write it down. Okay, fine. So let's just stick with those opinions. Okay. What else do I have to say? Anything else?
I thought everything is coming from the root.
Okay. When it comes to animals that do come from parents, for example, mosquitoes, ants, flies, fleas, as far as I know, roaches, I never read otherwise. Killing them is the same as killing a camel. Hoirig nomol kahoirig gomol, we said last time. Killing an ant is like killing a camel. There is no difference. Even if it's bothering you, even though we said before that you can step on animals that cause grievous bodily harm, a mosquito is not included in that. Because a mosquito bite is not the same as a poisonous snake bite, even a non-lethal poisonous snake bite. So you cannot kill it.
There are some mosquitoes.
If you're in a Zika zone and you're pregnant, yes, there are some mosquitoes. Oh, you mean also there are mosquitoes that can cause
Yes.
what is it called?
God forbid, you know.
Malaria. Yeah. If you're in an area that has malaria, absolutely.
In America, there's no malaria.
America?
Africa.
In Africa, there's
Only in
malaria.
Africa.
I don't think that. I don't think so. Malaria here in America? I don't think so. If you're in a place that has infected mosquitoes, absolutely. But if you're not, then you're not allowed to kill a mosquito on Shabbos, even if it's actually biting you. Now you can shoo it away. I mean, in theory, it says you can even grab it and shoo it away, but Lamaisa, if once you grab a mosquito, it's going to die. Sorry? Like, it's not going to kill you.
It's just.
Anyone allergic to mosquitoes?
If you can grab it, you can throw it away if it's actually biting you or it's close to biting you.
Babies?
It says
What
last
about-
week. It says
What
last week.
about babies? If they come to bite the baby.
Shoo it away. Can't kill it.
Coming again.
Shoo it away, shoo it away, shoo it away.
Sneaking again.
Listen. What can I tell you?
No issue.
Spiders.
But what about those mosquitoes? Like we were talking before, if you know they're in an area of malaria, then you could kill that mosquito.
Yeah, correct. If you're in an area with dangerous mosquitoes, you can kill them. And according to Rabbi Shapiro, I asked him when we had the Zika virus over here, Rabbi Abel Shapiro, Chabad Rosh Hashiva in Miami Beach, he said if you're in a Zika zone, he actually thought you can kill a mosquito in a Zika zone.
What's in Zika zone?
Where there are mosquitoes that have the Zika virus.
Downtown.
He said you could kill them.
And in downtown, there's a virus.
Not anymore. I don't think so. Still have it?
Oh, yeah?
Still have it?
Yeah.
No.
I haven't heard about it this
I
summer.
haven't heard of it.
They kept it quiet. They did a PR trick. They're not telling us about it. Anyway, but Lamaisa,
Took away a lot of tourism.
I know. Not just tourism. Some people got up and left. Yeah. Okay. Spiders. Most spiders are not dangerous unless they are. There are some that are. The spiders that are not dangerous, you're not allowed to kill, even though there is I don't know if it's true or false, but even though there is a belief that eating them could be dangerous, nevertheless, even in food, it's not common for it to be dangerous. And what are the chances it's going to fall into food? You're allowed to what? You're allowed to what?
It's gonna be very sticky. Try and avoid it.
You could definitely break it as you're walking. Question is, are you allowed to actually, like, break it? Good question.
A lot of times when my kids swing set, swing on Shabbat.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so my kids swing set. There's sometimes throughout the week we don't use it, or sometimes we don't use it throughout the week, sometimes we use it for months. But it forms there, so it's a very practical question. I like to take away all the webs and spiders before there's any activity on the thing.
It is a valid question.
You cost them to work on Shabbat. Just kidding. The spider to work again to make that. That's a good question.
It's not even a malacha. What's the malacha? I have two thoughts about it. First of all, it's muktzah. Second of all, it's connected to the house.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Chubel lekarka.
Always. Sorry.
There's a Siman in Shulchan Aruch where it talks about cleaning the house of spider webs on Shabbos. Yeah. Erev Shabbos, sorry, Erev Shabbos. The mitzvah to do. I'm hoping maybe there he'll discuss it.
Wait, so can I kill a spider? Can I kill any spider?
No, it says clearly you can't.
Why?
Because they're not dangerous.
None of them are lethal?
No, the ones that are. The ones that aren't.
So how do I know? The ones that, scorpions that are.
No, they're not, the common spiders are not lethal. If you have a serious doubt, then yeah, you can kill. But you can't kill stun.
It's lethal? Yeah, lethal.
Which ones? Black widow is lethal, yeah.
I have
How would I know if those were black?
I have no idea about spider or snake. I see, I step.
On Shabbat?
No, I mean step out.
I don't see it. I'm not finding it right now. But maybe that's where he discusses it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about different types of animals in terms of trapping. At the end of the Siman, he talks a little bit more about that. 3 types of animals. There are animals that are totally tame. Totally tame. Like they come to you, they don't run away from you, they behave. There is no isser of trapping them, putting them in a room, putting them on a leash, nothing. Then there are animals that they come back to sleep at night, but during the day they like to go around, and they don't listen to you just because you want them to come. Cats are like that. I mean, it depends on the cat. Every cat is different, but there are cats that are outside cats. You know what I'm saying? During the day, they like to go outside. They don't like to hang out inside. And whatever. And other pets that are they like doing their own thing. But they do come back at night. So that is considered Seda only midrabanan. Because they have like your house as their anchor, they're gonna always come back at night, so that they're never considered like totally free. That's only Seda drabanan. And then you have an animal that is totally.
So wait, you're not going to come inside the house?
Sorry?
can't come at night. You have to.
Um,
And then what? Can be let them come in and then be shopping.
Actually, what it says is an animal that is like that, you are only allowed to put it into a semi-trapped situation. Meaning to say, we learned in the beginning of the Siman that a big enclosed area is only Tzedem D'Rabbanan, because you still have to run around. So an animal that only comes back at night, but is hard to catch during the day or whatever, that you can only do Tzedem D'Rabbanan. You can't do Tzedem D'Oraisa. You wouldn't be able to close the door if in your house it's easy to catch it.
I think it's the routine of cat that be there doing. You let it go out. For sunset, she coming. She's meow meow. You open the door. She comes inside the house, sleeping in the house. In the morning she go. And so what's going to be one on Shabbos?
It's an interesting shaila. It is an interesting shaila.
It's the same.
That's an interesting shaila. I don't know the answer.
You can tell meow meow. You're not going outside today.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So if she's coming on Friday before Shabbat to make kiddush. No,
Comes before Shabbat, you're good.
then you don't open until Sunday. Until
No,
Sunday.
you can let him out. You can let him out. Just can't keep him in. You can let him out. No problem. Okay.
And if this cat, let's say, when you come in, when you let him come into the house, they have like a dedicated place. If you know he come, you have his food already. So it's not like your cat that live with you, but commonly, as you said, it's not like your own dog.
And the ownership, it has no relevance here. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you own him, you don't own him, that's not an issue. Because I'm saying, as far as the halachas of trapping are concerned, it does make a difference.
So a person can go and camp in his house and you'll be passing on Tzedar every single Shabbos?
No, on the contrary, I'm saying if it doesn't belong to you, it makes no difference. If it's domestic and it behaves and it doesn't run away, then it's not Seder regardless of whether it has an owner or not. If it does run away, then it's Seder whether you own it or not. So an example of that is actually Yonei Shoivach, where these birds would come to eat from your nest that were considered yours, halachically, at least with Rabbanan, nobody's allowed to take them. But it's Seder D'Oraisa, because they don't even come at night. They just come and go as they please. They use your nest as their base. So they could belong to you, but there's totally Seder D'Oraisa to catch them. So coming back to what I was saying, an animal that is not tame is Seder D'Oraisa. Now,
Rabbi, your shabach, it's your shabach. You have your name, and then you want to protect him. The oracle is coming.
Not on Shabbat.
Huh?
Not on Shabbat. You can't trap them on Shabbat.
You cannot trap them on Shabbat. Close the shabbat.
Also, you're not
Can't
allowed
close
to
them in.
protect them against animals that come in?
Not if it's Seder D'Oraisa. No,
You're
Seder
saving- You're
D'Rabbanan
saving him from death for sure, but
can't do Seder D'Oraisa. Just save them from death. You can save a human from death by doing an Issa D'Oraisa, not an animal.
Okay.
Can a goy?
Can you do it? Can you see what goes like?
Can you tell a goy to do Seder D'Oraisa to protect
Directly
it from?
or not
That wasn't a
directly?
question. That's also.
I don't think so. I don't
Can
think
you
so.
see what goes like?
Can you save a goy's life with a D'Rabbanan? Yes. With the D'Oraisa, Lemaisa, nowadays we say yes. Because if necessary, you should try to do it with a D'Rabbanan. But if necessary, you can do it with the D'Oraisa. Because the fact is that we live in a very open world where there's no secrets. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't take care of other people, our lives could seriously be at stake. I mean, we saw that in 1991 with Yankel Rosenbaum.
With what?
Yankel Rosenbaum.
Inco?
Yankel Rosenbaum.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What happened is that
That's right.
that there was a accident in Crown Heights. It was actually the Rebbe's motorcade. That the car behind the Rebbe's went through a red light and ended up hitting a black kid. The black kid was stuck under the car. And when the Hatzalah came, they couldn't pick up the car. It's too heavy. So they treated the driver, the Jewish driver. Meanwhile, the kid was stayed under the car, and by the time the ambulance came, the kid ended up dying. And the rumors had it that the Jewish people treated the minor injury of the Jew and they let the kid die, which wasn't correct, right? Because they had no choice. There was nothing they could do for the kid. But Lemaisa, that started a riot, and there was a Jew that was killed by the blacks in Crown Heights in that riot, Yankel Rosenbaum. So you just see how misinformation, and certainly true information, could literally cause somebody to die. Not in the pogroms in Russia in the 1900s, but I'm saying here in America. So we have to be careful. So like a doctor, for example, who's on call has to, in general, he should try not to be on call, whatever. But if he is on call and it's a life-threatening situation, he would have to go if he's a non-Jew. He should try to minimize malachas, you know what I'm saying? Left hand or whatever, as much as possible. Shinui, but nevertheless, he would have to save. So, the Maisa.
If the shinui is going to cause it might cause the person to be injured or die.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying as much as possible, you should do a shinui and still save the life. I'm not talking about doing a shinui that's not going to save the life.
I'll drive to the house, we also drive a shinui.
Without endangering your own life.
Reverse the whole time.
With the Olympics.
Yeah. No, the marshal to go. No, I'm saying the marshal.
Driving was back to the hospital.
Just driving.
Driving to the hospital because of the doctor. So the hospital.
Saying Lemaisa, it would be better to take an Uber to the hospital, for example.
No doctors.
Minimize the malacha. I don't know.
Just use your phone.
I was going to say that. You have to call them. There's other malachas involved also.
Yeah, but it's less. Electricity is less than driving. Driving is every time you press the accelerator.
It's a new malacha.
The brakes, the
Malacha,
gas,
yeah.
lights, blinkers.
Yeah. Unless you happen to have an electric car. Do the electric cars run only on electricity, or it's a mix?
Hybrid
Telsa?
is hybrid
Only
is a
electricity.
mix.
That's a good hitter. Doctors should get a Telsa.
Yeah, Tesla.
Tesla. That's a good chiddush. All right, we came up with something. Okay.
Hang on, why would the electric be a kiddush?
No, I'm just saying it's less of a malacha.
So it's their bonnet to drive an electric car.
According to most poskim. Chazon Ish says it's deraisa. But a lot of other achronim says deraisa.
Well, as Anish says, it's the rice and electric car.
Electricity, b'chlal.
Electricity.
To use electricity.
An electric car would still be one of the same issues.
Why?
No, it's electric. Don't turn
Well,
it-
the headlights might be an issue.
No, oh, why? It's a electric.
If it's
There's
a bulb.
still all kinds of sparks and things.
I don't know if there. No, the sparks when you turn on an electric circuit, those sparks are totally segregation lenichale.
Yeah.
They don't benefit you at all. On the contrary, they wear down the wires. They're not good for the system.
Oh, but you know what? The best they can go in. It's important where you need to go.
So what is the Chazon Ish hold?
Oh, yeah, but
Is
some
it bona?
Even better. I'm sorry.
Does the Chazon Ish hold that it's bona then when you?
Chazon Ish held that it's bona, correct.
Uh,
Okay.
The only analogy I can think of is an elevator then. Okay? Would a self-driving car be similar to an elevator, to a that you didn't push any buttons?
Well, the self-driving car, you have to program it.
You have
That's
go.
right. No, you
Go.
pre-program it before Shabbos.
How do you know when the emergency is going to happen, where it's going to happen?
Rabbi, you have
Let's
a
say you're
go.
on call.
Oh,
And you can pre-program it for every hour.
so whenever you go in, it knows to take you where.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, would that be similar to an elevator?
Kind of, yeah.
in the synagogue, you're allowed to have a guy to go with the elevator up and down.
Oh, yeah. No. Answer is no.
For the handicap.
Answer is no.
Go with the what?
That's a,
Go with what?
the elevator.
Elevator.
Knowledge. That's a,
Okay, so Lamaisa, we had this question last time and we answered it, but I'll repeat that. If you have an animal that is in the house that is not tame, you cannot close the door behind you. Because every time you close the door, you're trapping the animal.
But is our house is in our time considered like
It depends on the animal, depends how big the animal is. Maybe a cat is only drabanan in the house because it could hide under the bed. One of my cousins used to have a cat that they could never find. They were always looking for the cat. It was always hiding somewhere else. So yeah, that's possible. It depends on the animal. So the Lamaisa, the thing to do, we said, is when you open the door, to fill the doorway with your body and then close it right behind you. So that way it's never able to actually escape. All right, Rabbi Isai, that pretty much finishes Siman 316. We will, in Mitzvah Hashem, continue with Siman 317 tomorrow. Hashem's help. I am planning to do a Siyum Mishnayos and Masechta Midos. So anybody wants to bring some mashka I have, but some farbaisen, as they say, something to say a bracha on. You're welcome.
Yeshua Koach, Rabbi.
My pleasure. Joseph, I see you were here.